The largest nation in the world, pioneers, is your imagination. It can be your enemy, or it can be your superpower. How many times in your life have you gone through something and you thought you weren't going to make it, but you did? What you gotta do is be steady, consistent, but not stagnant. You gotta weather the storm. If you're steady, you're gonna outlive it. If you're ready, you don't have to waste time. You gotta believe there's something on the other side for you. Sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried because they tried to bury us, but they forgot we were seeds. See, actually, you've been planted. Can I get a hello? What do when you hit rock bottom and you don't know where to go? When you're Patrick Star and you're living under a rock, you pause like Eeyore and you wait. I stopped saying I gotta wait for good things to happen to me, and I said I'ma go grind, hustle. Fourth quarter overtime, I'ma fight, work hard, learn. I'm gonna do everything in my power every single day. I'm gonna do everything in life to become a victor, not a victim. To become a pioneer and not a non-player character. There are people who come into life sometimes to be there for a season, a day. What? Sometimes we find ourselves living with people, hooked up with people who we might think will be there for a lifetime. But they were only supposed to be there for a day, a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. Have you ever watched a rocket, quote unquote, go into space? Don't the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude? Some people are not equipped to handle the altitude that you're gonna go through, pioneers. Don't be afraid to fall off from people. They're not bad people, they just can't go where you're going. I believe everything is predestined and happens for a reason. We just got to get in tune to who we really are. People can change so they can learn to let go, grow, build, so we can learn to appreciate the things that we let go when we get to our outcome. So better things can fall and even greater things can come. Most people pissed off from Monday. It's right around the corner. Monday is the day you're supposed to go and shape and mold your life, your greatness. But people like Friday, today, Freya Day, St. Patty's Day. They don't have to face themselves on Friday. They want to head into the weekend. They don't want to have to face themselves during the weekend time of the week. That's when everybody's partying, everybody's drunk, everybody gets to forget about who they truly are, who they're supposed to be during the week. See, I challenge you, pioneers, to rise above, raise the frequency, raise the vibrations. Most people aren't obsessed with their goals because they don't believe they are worthy of them. It's easy to dream about what you want. We're all looking for this golden thing, this dream, this white picket fence, making money, but the purpose is you. Every day I wake up, I don't want to do shit. I don't want to go to work, but I don't want to walk around knowing that I could have, but I didn't. I had to get up knowing that I had to do it. Like Nike, just do it. If you ain't got $100, $1,000, try and go get it. Invest it, double it. You're in a dungeon, but guess what? You're still gonna get it. There's no excuses for not living up to your fullest potential. Winners win, losers lose, period. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how to. I don't know how it happens. Winners win, losers lose. Pioneers win, non-player characters lose. If you create a culture of losing, if you keep being the victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. You're suffering from self-doubt while others are intimidated by your full potential. If your past self could see where you're at right now today, if my past self could see where I'm at today, I wouldn't believe it. Think about how impressed you could be. Think about how impressed others would be. One of the greatest ways you can overcome self-doubt is to realize how far you've come. See, maybe it ain't where you want to be, but look back and see how far you've already came. You're a lot better than where you were. The key is to wake up every single day, put one foot in the other, and keep moving forward. Keep growing, keep grinding, fourth quarter overtime. I understand you're attracted to money, greatness, fame, fortune, whatever. But greatness, all that money, that fame is in you. It's easy to watch greatness, but it's harder to be greatness. To put in the time, the energy, to discipline yourself, to sacrifice for bigger and better things. It's easier to sit on the sideline. That's why you average and you're frustrated because you're not living like you should live. Because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And I've always wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So welcome back to another episode of the Daily Candle Closed News, where we program divergence and deprogram the masses that are stuck in this augmented reality that is nothing more than a logistically sanctioned and hallucinogenic controlled realm that we live in called the Matrix. If you're new here, kick back, relax, grab your favorite drink, your favorite snack, because today we're going to be deep diving St. Patrick's Day and sharing a little truth behind that. And if you're new here, we do life, cryptocurrency, news, technical analysis, all using pi, periodic table of elements, the golden ratio of phi, the Lucas numbers, math, common sense, fact, figures, logic to help us understand this world and realm that we live in. And we like to talk about finance because cream, cash rules everything around me. But let's go ahead and talk about St. Patrick's Day, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot about it that you don't know. When you click right here with images, all you see is green and leprechauns. And well, what do you know? Green in the markets all day today. Just pumping close to 28K. We'll talk about that later when we get into the cryptocurrency technical analysis. But you also see this leprechaun character. And did you know they hardly pay leprechauns any attention at all across the pond over there? They're just another fairy tale among many, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, because this is not how the tradition of St. Patrick's Day started. Before there were leprechauns, did you know that there were actually little people all around the world, like the Tuatha tribe, from Greek pygmies to African pygmies to Norse dwarfs, German kobolds? You know, the world was, and I guess maybe still is, overran with tiny folklore. One of the worst infestations was in Ireland, where we had the little cobblers living under the hills, house spirits for everything imaginable, and legions of ambiguous fairies. The Tuatha Danann, the tribe of the gods, right here, Tuatha, okay, also known as the tribe of the gods in Irish mythology, later known as the Druids. So very important. Some people would say that some of Ireland's first settlers were a race of godlike figures who landed on the shore out of a great mist. And when they arrived, they burned their ships, subdued their native tribes, and made the island of Ireland their home. And they were great rulers. Like anyone, they struggled with warfare and dissent, but their people were safe and happy, in no smart part because their kings were basically gods. One of the most important figures among the Tuatha Danann was Lu, okay, right here, a high king and war hero who has since became the patron god of light. Among many things, he was known for his mastery of all crafts and for being a trickster. And when he died, he left his kingdom in a state of relative peace, which lasted for many, many years after. But everything changed when the Milesians attacked. They landed on Ireland and war immediately broke out between them and the Tuatha Danann, the tribe of the gods, and it lasted for years, this war. Eventually the invaders won out, is what the story says, and they banished the Tuatha Danann beneath the Shahada Mountains, where they became the people of the mound, the Lucarpine, okay? So let's spell that out in numerology real quick, because that's where that word leprechaun comes from, but it's really pronounced Lupercon, or however I'm probably slaughtering it, but it means small body, apparently, when you look it up. And that's very important because we're getting that 117 that we know we get in St. Patrick, as well as Bitcoin today. And Bitcoin's in a green stream. We're going to be talking about that because St. Patrick's Day is associated with green stream. But back to our decode on where St. Patty's Day comes from. But again, this word that we just talked about, leprechaun, it might not actually mean small body. It might mean small stooping Lu, as in Lu, one of the high kings of the Tuatha Danann. If that's true, that the leprechaun is just a parody of an old pagan god. Now, that probably hardly covers everything, because what about the crock of gold at the end of the rainbow that we see? You know, well, I guess they're not going to show a pot of gold, but usually, there we go. You know, what about the pot of gold? Well, the green clothes, the infinity for alcoholic beverages, where does all this come from? A lot of that just comes down to the fact that this is a folk tale. As people heard these stories, they had a tendency to embellish them, to make them personal, combining them with elements from the past and from modern day society, losing tradition of where things originally created. Okay? But we can't forget about the dark side of this origin story. The leprechaun exists because of the stories people chose to tell. But again, did these druids and these pygmies really exist? Because when you really do your due diligence and research, what they taught us about St. Patrick's was leprechauns, like I said, gold coins, being lucky, and a man named St. Patrick that removed the serpents from the motherland. But of course, that's probably a cover-up like everything else they tell us in life. In this time period, back in time, again, a bunch of people that look like the Tuatha tribe, okay, melanated people, they were massacred by a man named Saint Patrick. Okay, so these were the first people to settle in Ireland. Okay, the Tuatha Danann. Okay, they were very short, 5 feet in height at the largest, which is very short for an adult. Okay, so they journeyed to Northern Ireland in its conception, early days, prior to the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, they had a cultural, philosophical, and technological impact on the people that were there. And those people that were already there were called again the Druids. The impact were so heavy that the Druids started wearing the same headdresses that you would used to see the Tuatha tribe wear, which a lot of times would be the ancient Pharaoh crown. Tying us all the way back into the kings and queens of Egypt that were melanated. But they teach us today we're Caucasian. I'm just saying, I don't try and hate. I'm just trying to say the black man was the original man. Okay? Just trying to nip that shit in the bud. The Roman Catholic Church thought this influence was too heavy and wanted to come in and convert them. And if they couldn't convert them, they got rid of them, massacred them. So, Saint Nick Paddywhack, killer tribe of whatever, came in with the Roman Catholic churches all over Northern Ireland, and in the process of putting those churches up, he hired guards and either converted the Tuatha Druids or got rid of them. Which one do you think he did? War rules everything around us in this age of Aries, age of war we live in, okay? So remember where St. Paddy's Day comes from, because remember, it comes from an ancient massacre in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You know, imagine that. So, just wanted to share this due diligence with you. Let's get back into the decode and look at St. Paddy's Day. And while we're seeing nothing but a green stream heading all the way into, well, what do you know? I wonder why my moon patterns aren't showing up. One second. I want to show you a better moon pattern. Not now. Yeah, but anyways, we had our waning moon, our third moon, coming right in right here. But we're reaching 28K. Just a green stream on St. Paddy's Day, a day associated with the color green. So very important. You know, breaking back up to the top side of this parallel channel that we had drawn, we had our clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave with the ABC corrective wave closing the CME gap that we have spoken about for quite some time here, just reiterating some downside pressure. But before I get too ahead of myself, I want to reiterate some importance about this quick buyback. This pullback, this ABC corrective wave was needed. Impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave. All of what's happened in the last few days is perfectly good. Okay, it's healthy. It's insanity to watch Bitcoin drop from 25 all the way back down to 19 and just watch the band-aid rip off, especially on a 2-hour time frame. Seems like for some reason I'm getting lag in my indicators, but or my just charting period. But to just see it over a span of 2 hours drop pretty profusely, it's not surprising, okay? But it's, again, much needed. And then to go from 19 back up to 28K almost. I mean, getting another higher high, breaking previous highs. This is insane volatility. And I've been telling people for a couple weeks, a month now, to expect an automatic rally to get ready to head into around 28K again, right here around our de-risking range. All we needed to do was get back above this 257, 25,700, the 55th prime number, this long-term descending wedge to continue in an automatic rally in Wyckoff reaccumulation. Multiple charts showing this. Thursday night hangout, talking with RC3 more, just continuing to climb in this pattern towards the next solar eclipse that we've been inching towards, coming up just on April 20th, April 13th, April 20th, and then our next sell in May, walk away period where we could see a potential pullback. Okay, so closing the CME gap, retesting the outside of this falling wedge pattern, getting perfect support, and jumping right back up to the 382. But then right here in this giant megaphone pattern, we see, well, what do you know, our first accumulate or de-risking range at 28K pretty much almost hit. Getting ready to have a limit order de-risk from our $16,000 lows. So not surprising, you know, maybe you didn't buy the low, but maybe you're able to catch it 15, 16, you're up about 72% roughly, and we know Bitcoin in numerology equals 72. I've got that pulled up right here. Not surprising, you guys. So Bitcoin 72, almost up 72%. If you got anywhere near close to the lows and you sell around 28K, de-risk. Not financial advice, but this is just extreme volatility that we've been preparing you for since January. Okay, so we just see hard work coming into play. Okay, so again, why is this important? Because it's St. Patty's Day, a day associated with green, tying us back into this 49, which is the 7th prime number, or not the 7th prime number, but the square root of 7. 7 times 7, we just came out the 7-year sabbatical cycle yesterday. Okay, today is the 17th, well, it's the 18th now, but St. Patty's Day was the 17th. 17 is the 7th prime number. Okay, tying us back into our favorite pals, Skull and Bones, who practice the magnum opus. Okay, tying us back into Solo Negra, giving us that 117 we get in St. Patrick and Bitcoin today. So again, we get volatility in the cryptocurrency market on St. Patrick's Day. Okay, also so very important, tying us into where we get the word leprechaun, giving us that same 117. Okay, so very important just to see volatility on this day, a day that adds up to 63 in numerology. And well, what do you know? If I was to tell you that Friday, which is what this day was yesterday, where St. Patty's Day fell, Friday gives us 63 and 36. That's 17. It fell on Friday the 17th. 2023, St. Patty's Day, and we see a green day in the markets. Not surprising. So very important. Okay, so all this 49 connection, being the square root of 7, tying us into the 17th that St. Patty's fell on Friday, 17 being the 7th prime number. All this 49 is tying us back into what I'm trying to teach you. Again, green giving us 49, but I see this through my third eye, giving us that same 49 in numerology. Okay, I'm trying to teach you to become alive again. Okay, giving us that same 49, and to program divergence, giving us that same 49 in numerology. That's my goal. That's what I'm here to do on St. Patty's Day. Teach you the truth of where this day comes from. Okay? This 17 is very powerful. We know it ties us into God, 17. And we know Genesis 1:26-27 says man was created in the image of God, the Elohim, the creator. Therefore, we are co-creators of our own reality. Okay, so very important. When we tie this day today and we tie it into the upcoming end of the 50-year Jubilee and the next Rosh Hashanah, we see, well, the upcoming would be the following day, but the start of Rosh Hashanah is tying us into a day that leaves 107 days left in the year. Very powerful, because drop the zero in the rules of numerology, that's given us the same 17. St. Patty's Day was on the 17th, the 76th day of the year. Again, tying us into our favorite pals at Skull and Bones, giving us that same 49 and 76 on the 76th day of the year. And you wonder why St. Patty's Day is green. So pay attention to Shiva tomorrow. Coming out of the 76th day of the year, we could see Shiva, the goddess of destruction, bring a red day to the cryptocurrency market on the 18th. Who knows? We can continue to pump up. I'm just saying, we're already showing bullish energy, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. But again, this is Friday, and that ties us back into the Tuatha, Danann, which we know we're known as the fallen angels in Irish mythology, giving us that same 63 for Friday, Tuatha, Danann, where we get St. Patty's Day from. So very important. This is all just a scripted reality that we live in, giving us that same, I spelled scripted wrong. It's all just a scripted reality, giving us that same 76. So very important. Alright, just want to share this decode with you guys. This day last year, XRP was at 76 cents. And did you know Ripple equals 76? So very important. Irrefutable, undeniable. Something I want to bring back up. Just remember this from last year. So heading into the 18th tomorrow, going to be very important, because we see it is, boom, 181 days until the upcoming Rosh Hashanah and Jewish Hebrew New Year, being the 77th day of the year. This 18 and 77 we know we get in Christ. Boom. But Christ giving us that same 77 and 18 tomorrow. So it could be a good day for the markets. Let's pay attention. We get this 18 in Jesus. Okay? So very important. You are the Christ body. Okay? And I'll prove that. Mankind. Again, Genesis 1:26-27 says you were made in the image of the Elohim. You were made in the image of the Christ body. Giving us the same matching 123 to mankind. So very important. Awesome. So enough about St. Patty's Day and the intro. Enough about this rapid pullback and the buy off. We know what it is. We're coming up close to our de-risking ranges that we prepared you for months. But let's talk about this for just another quick minute, because we still got a lot of FUD going on in the markets, and we talk about all the narratives almost weekly as soon as they come out. And when we jump in the market, we see this buyback, in this Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern with the ABC corrective wave, and just another, I don't know if you want to call this a wacky, I don't know what you want to call this, you guys, for real. It's just in a euphoric uptrend. RSI on the 2-hour time frame is just getting pretty overheated. Alright, so you've got higher highs getting set in price, but lower lows getting set in the RSI, showing a bearish divergence. So pay attention to a potential pullback in the markets, not financial advice. Okay, so I'm just saying that this could be potentially a a bad sign. Okay, so definitely want to pay attention to that. There it is. There's my moon pattern. Let's hide this moon pattern, and let's go to our settings. New moon. This is my favorite moon pattern in the world. First moon, we're gonna mark as a lighter green. Full moon, of course, we're going to mark it red. And then our waning moon, we're going to mark it a lighter red. Boom. I'm trying to teach you guys something right here. But our inputs, visibility, inputs. And we're going to change this to 144 for the 144,000 chosen. Okay, boom. But look at this. Perfect. On 314, Pi Day. 3.14, the mathematical constant. Okay, we know time is a constant. Alright, so we get our waning moon, our third moon come in, and then we get our ABC corrective wave heading back into our new moon. Of course, this was our full moon. 3 to 5 days after, we get our bear trap, trapping the bears, bull trap, bear trap, possibly another bull trap coming in. Still setting a higher high in structure, getting close to this 1618, the golden ratio, roughly at 289. Okay, so roughly 29,000 psychologically. So very important. This 28, we know, going back in time, you know why I've got that as a range to de-risk. That's because 289, 289, so 28,900. That's one reason why that 1618 range is pretty important. The golden ratio. This is the 17th square. We talked about that number all night tonight. The 17th day of March. But very important. Going back to this 28 and why I'm de-risking a small portion. It's because Sun God gives us that same 28, which ties us back into the 2 8s that we know we get in Ra, the 88th element, radium, the sun god Ra, Egyptian god Ra. So I figured, 28K is a perfect number, the sum of 56. It's a very powerful number. I just figured, I'd try and de-risk at that range. We've shared this, like I said, in a couple charts. Look at this fucking rocket to the upside, you guys. Right after this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right around the bank closures, right here around the 3-year anniversary of the C-19 shutdown, when the world shut down and then banks started shutting down, and now boom, on the weekly time frame, just going euphoric green stream, but getting ready to de-risk at these levels that we've talked about. 28K, 322, 37K, the 37, 777 in the jackpot in the casino, 42 if we get lucky, and even a little higher. So we'll just have to continue to see. But this automatic rally is going to be short-lived as we approach April and May, something we've been talking about. So just seeing a great retest of 19,666, which goes back way back in time to December 17th, December 21st, 2017, roughly. So wow, perfect buyback and a V-shaped recovery, and this megaphone rising wedge, whatever you want to call it, just bullish, you guys. So we know they tend to have a bearish breakout, but the bulls came in with a lot of volume and just really bought the market back up. I mean, the Gaussian channel on the daily time frame has just been green ever since the 18th of January. So something we've got to pay attention to on the daily time frame. Alright, so very important. I changed my settings, by the way, to the Gaussian channel to, again, the 144 and the 1618, the golden ratio, just so you know. Alright, and it works even better on smaller time frames. So very important. Alright, Gaussian channel is green. we're looking for euphoric rally. When it turns red, get ready for a dip. Red, kind of dip down to the bottom of this megaphone. Green, we pump back up. Red, we're coming back down. Green, fake out, coming back down. Boom. So let's pay attention, okay? Let's learn the technical analysis, indicators, and oscillators that we're using here. Alright, so just want to come out and share with you. I'm glad I finally found my favorite moon pattern ever again. In Silicos, 4 seasons is what it's called. In case you're wanting to, get the full moon, the new moon, the first moon, and the waning moon, the third moon. It really shows a lot more volatility and structure going back in time when you pay attention to the different types of moon patterns. So we'll get deeper into that as time goes on. But I wanted to come out tonight and hang out with you all as we got ready to transition into 318. We know 18 is a very powerful number in Judaism. Again, it means alive, life. Christ means 18. You are the one tied to the infinity symbol, the matrix body, the 8, okay? The infinite connection to source. So with all that being said, you guys, we're going to sign out of this one. Want to come out and talk about this green stream on St. Paddy's Day, getting close to our vernal equinox, which we know has everything to do with greenness, okay? Giving us that 43 and that 137, 33rd prime number. With that 43, we're getting a lot of greenness in the month of March, giving us that 43, especially as we get ready to approach Aries, which is 3 days away, giving us that same 43, the traditional zodiac Aries, okay? So very important. There's 2 ways to spell it, but we're going to spell it the Greek god of war, Aries. So pay attention to the 21st, 22nd of the month, where we tend to get a microstructure reset and recycle. And remember, 322 this year is Skull and Bones. 322, the secret society of Yale, being the 81st day of the year. A day that adds up to 68 in numerology, and we know we get that 68 in Hermes, which is known as the trickster god. So very important. Let's just pay attention to this day. 322 in the 223 year. So very, very important. Alright? So with all that being said, take care and God bless, pioneers. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress and build your legacy.